Welcome. Today we'll discuss the most recently discovered archaeological foundations that have awed the globe. In recent months, many teams of archaeologists have produced extraordinary excavation findings that have been reported in the international press and have provided new information about the history of the numerous civilizations that once inhabited this planet millennia ago. As is customary, archaeology news brings us throughout the world and through the ages, from the dawn of human history to the present day. Here are some of our favorites from the freshly discovered archaeological stories that are worth repeating. 1. 2,500-year-old Temple of Aphrodite. The remnants of a 2,500-year-old Aphrodite temple have been unearthed in Turkey's west by a team of Turkish researchers and archaeologists. The goddess Aphrodite is honored in the 6th century BC temple. During the investigations over an area of around 1,600 square kilometers, 35 prehistoric sites containing signs of the Ionian civilization were unearthed, 16 of which date from the Late Neolithic period, a sacred spot. In the ruins of the temple, which dates from the 5th century BC, the crew discovered a portion of a statue representing a lady and a figure of a terracotta female head. "This is the sacred spot," reads an inscription around the temple. History. According to ancient origins, Greek immigrants arrived in the area approximately 8,000 BC, which is when the Greek goddess found herself a temple in Turkey. The region now occupied by Izmir province would have been seen as an ideal spot to rebuild by Greek expatriates because of the town's closeness to the sea. And the discovery of the Temple of Aphrodite from the 6th century BC suggests that escaping Greeks did indeed settle in this area in substantial numbers. The researchers also discovered and recorded items going back to 6,000 BC that help explain the story of the people who lived around the temple and in the surrounding area. The researchers discovered burial mounds as well as religious caves. Might be a temple of fornication. Indeed, the passionate picture of Corinth, which was based largely on a 3-line description by the Greek geographer Strabo, who wrote about 20 AD, said the Temple of Aphrodite was once so wealthy that it had amassed over 1,000 prostitutes, both men and women donating their bodies to the goddess's service. And it was because of them that the city grew crowded and prosperous. The commanders of the ships would squander their riches there. 2. Roman Emperor Hadrian's palatial breakfast chamber. When it comes to dining in style, consider the Hadrian and his empress of the Roman Empire, Vibia Sabina, as they may have had their breakfast on an elegant marble platform surrounded by flowing water in the 2nd century AD, while an entourage of attendants stood at attention nearby, separated from the imperial pair by retractable bridges. Archaeologists working at Hadrian's villa on Tivoli's enormous 200-acre site have unearthed a breakfast chamber where the Roman emperor and his wife, Vibia Sabina, would eat. This location, on the other hand, was not private and was rather intended towards stressing the emperor's status. A regal 4-bedroom building originally stood in the palazzo area, centered around a semicircular nymphaeum with a private dining area hung above a pool of running water. A marble triclinium, that is, a magnificent Roman eating hall where aristocracy enjoyed expensive food and wine while resting on U-shaped couches, was overseen by vaulted ceilings with niches for statues. Retractable wooden bridges led to the area, which was surrounded by a wall with miniature waterfalls and a sunken fountain. On one side, the area was open and looked out onto a courtyard with lovely plants. This find tells how the emperor and his wife began each day with a show of power. 3. Europe's oldest known map. A finely engraved stone slab discovered in France during the early Bronze Age has been described as Europe's first cartographical representation of a known country. Archaeologists in France have discovered a stone containing etchings dating back 4,000 years, which they believe to be Europe's earliest 3-dimensional map. The engraved motifs on the fractured stone reflect geographical elements, such as hills and a river system. The Bronze Age stone slab, which is 3.86 m long by 2.1 m wide and comes from between 2150 and 1600 BCE, We can deduce its significance from the fact that it is referred to as the world's oldest map. Several similar maps have been engraved in stone all throughout the world. In most cases, they are just interpretations. However, this is the first time a region has been portrayed on a specified scale on a map. The slab also has motifs that might depict villages, barrow sites, and agricultural systems, in addition to rivers and hills. The marks might be connected to land usage and ownership organization. It was discovered in 1900 by local archaeologist Paul du Chatelier during excavations on an ancient burial place in Finisterre, Western Brittany. What's more, according to Clement, there are symbols on the map that don't make sense in today's world. These might be the remains of ancient burial sites or villages that are no longer visible to the naked eye. Experts will spend the next year exploring that section of Brittany to see whether the map may take us to any Bronze Age sites. With that, we've arrived at the end of our video. So, tell us about it. Which of these findings appeals to you the most? Which revelation has piqued your curiosity about history the most? These recent findings have left us all appreciating the realities of our past, and discoveries like these have left us wondering why we are the way we are. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and we'll see you again soon. Stay tuned for more next time. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications for new videos.